Lesson 1.4, Perimeter and Area in the Coordinate Plane. Essential questions. How can you find the perimeter and area of a polygon in a coordinate plane? Before we go on further, let's go ahead and set up our notes, the title of the notes, the essential question, and some room for vocabulary and examples that I'll be doing. Right now, let's go ahead and find the perimeter and area of polygons that are not in the coordinate plane. Stop the screencast and do all 4 problems. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and restart the screencast and compare your answers with mine. Here are the answers. Perimeter is about adding up all of the sides. And area, depending on the figure, has a specific formula: triangles, rectangle, square, and trapezoid. This screen has the basic formulas for perimeter and area of these 3 kinds of figures. All right, let's go ahead and find the perimeter of this figure. Now, we know these sides, but we don't know this side right here. Now, we do know that this side is 18, and so these 2 must also add up to 18, so that means this will be 9. We need this length right here, and we know since this horizontal length is 15, these 2 horizontal will have to add up to 15, and so that answer will be 8. Now that we have all the sides, we can find the perimeter. 15 plus 18 plus 7 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9. You might want to put that in your calculator. And I get 66. Label the answer centimeters. All right, for this particular problem, we have some missing lengths. We have this length that's missing, this length that's missing, and this length that's missing. All right, I kind of see that this is really 2 figures. It looks like it's 2 rectangles. And so that means if this is 9, this missing length will be 9. And if this length right here for the rectangle is 13, then this will be 13. And I can see this whole length here is 30, so I know that these lengths right here also have to add up to 30. So that means this would have to be 23 in order for 3, 23, and 4 to add up to 30. So now I know the lengths of all the sides. 30 plus 9 plus 4 plus 13 plus 23 plus 13 plus 3 plus 9. And I'll just trust that you can put that in the calculator and find your answer. Let's go ahead and move on. Our first vocabulary word is polygon. It's a figure, and it has these different parts. It has sides. It has a vertex, and when you want to pluralize vertex, it's vertices. And this is the polygon. We name it by its vertices, polygon A, B, C, D, and E. And it really doesn't, as long as you go in consecutive order, you don't really have to start at the letter A. All right, depending on the number of sides, we have a name for the polygon. If it's 3 sides, we call it a triangle. 4 sides, we call it a quadrilateral. If these vocabulary words are new to you, you should probably write them down in your notes. A convex polygon is a polygon where if you put a line on the side, that line will not enter into the interior. A concave polygon is one where if there's a side in which you draw a line along the side and it enters the interior, it's called concave. Okay, you try these problems. Stop the screencast, write down what you think the answer is, then restart the screencast to see if your answers match. Here are the answers. Here's another try. Go ahead and stop the screencast, try your best at these problems, And when you're done, you can go ahead and restart it to check your work. Here are the answers. Okay, now we're going to be in the coordinate plane and we want to find the perimeter. The perimeter means that we need to find the lengths of all these sides. And on the last lesson, we talked about how to find the distance using the distance formula. So again, stop the screencast, see if you can find the lengths of all of those sides, and then the next screen will show your work. Okay, here's the answer. Perimeter is the sum of all the sides. And you can see that already I've done some of the work. I've used the distance formula for AB, BC, and CD. So far, I know that this answer is 5, this answer is 5, this answer is 5, and I left the last one because I'm not going to use the distance formula here. If I want to figure out AD, since I have a graph, I am going to draw a right triangle and use the Pythagorean theorem. And this length is 3, and this length is 7. So AD will be equal to the square root of 3 squared plus 7 squared, which is going to be, and that is not a 7, that is a 4. So this is going to be 9 plus 16, and this answer will be 5. So this answer is also 5. That makes the perimeter 20. Find the perimeter of triangle ABC with these vertices. So we'd like to find the perimeter, which means we've got to find 3 sides. So we know that this length right here is 6, and we know that this length right here is 5. And to figure out this length, since it's already in a right triangle, I'm just going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So AB will be equal to the square root of 6 squared plus 5 squared. And that's going to be 36 plus 25, which is square root of 61. All right, so the answer is 11 plus root 61. Now you can't put these together, but you can approximate by putting root 61 in your calculator. And if you do that and round to the nearest tenth, the answer is about 18.8. Okay, you try it. Stop the screencast when you're ready. Go ahead and restart and look at the answer. Here is the answer. I figured out the lengths of the vertical and horizontal sides. I used the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the hypotenuse, and then I added all these up. Okay, find the area of triangle QRS. Again, go ahead and stop the screencast, see what you can do, and restart and see how close you are. Here is the answer. Area is equal to 1/2 base times height. All we needed to know was the legs of the right triangle, and then I was able to proceed. Find the area of triangle DEF. Okay, so the area is going to be 1/2 base times height. Now this is the base, and I can see it goes from -4 to 4, so that length is 8. And the height isn't drawn, so I'll go ahead and draw it. Heights are always perpendicular to the base, and in this case, we're going from -3 to 3, so that's going to be 6. So this is 4 times 6, which is 24. Your turn. Go ahead and graph those points. Look at the figure and see if you can find the area. When you're confident that you have the answers, go ahead and restart the screencast to compare. Here are the answers. Okay, so summarize the skills and strategies that you're confident in as a result of today's lesson. This is the end of lesson 1.4.